They say football is a game of inches, but sometimes a single roster move, a late-night transaction, a practice squad shuffle can change the entire feel of a team. Tonight, we're talking about one of those small moves with outsized storytelling power, the Pittsburgh Steelers bringing veteran wideout Marquez Valdes-Scantling into their fold. This is a story about speed, familiarity, second chances, and what the next few weeks might mean for a team trying to stabilize around its veteran quarterback. Let's start with the man himself. Marquez Valdes-Scantling entered the league as a big, long-limbed deep threat 6'4", built like a runway receiver and blessed with top-end straight-line speed. Over his career, he has been a boom-or-bust presence. When the ball finds him downfield, he can flip the scoreboard. When coverage is tight and the target window is small, the numbers can look modest. Across multiple stops in the NFL, Green Bay, Kansas City, stints in Buffalo and New Orleans, and a series of short signings, his resume reads like the career of a high-variance veteran who still offers a unique tool, the ability to stretch a defense vertically. On paper, his career totals show the production of a player who's been useful when deployed correctly. Context matters. This signing isn't happening in a vacuum. The Steelers are dealing with secondary questions and receiver depth issues at a moment when their offense needs as many reliable playmakers as possible. Adding a veteran who has previously played with and built a rapport with Aaron Rodgers has practical upside beyond simple statistics. Chemistry is real in the NFL. If Rodgers and Valdes-Scantling remember how to sync on-go routes and timing throws, that alone could accelerate MVS's path from practice squad body to actual game contributor. The two of them have a history of connecting on explosive plays during their time in Green Bay. So what does Marquez bring to the Steelers schematically? First, field-stretching speed. The threat of him on the outside forces defensive backs to respect vertical seams. Teams game plan against speed by shifting safeties, changing leverage, and dedicating coverage resources to the deep third. That, in turn, opens intermediate windows for tight ends and slot receivers. For Pittsburgh, which has been trying to get its offense into cleaner passing windows for Rodgers, even the occasional vertical threat can create space for the rest of the passing tree to operate. Second, contested catch ability. At 6'4", MVS wins some jump balls, especially when quarterbacks like Rodgers can place the ball high and let their receiver go up and get it. Third, special teams value. A veteran signing in October who starts on the practice squad almost always brings experience on returns or as a blocker. Coaches value that when the roster tightens. There's also a psychological angle. Bringing in a veteran who was once a high-profile deep threat sends a message to the locker room. The front office is trying to add pieces that give the offense something more than status quo. For Aaron Rodgers, a familiar face in the receiving room might be a comfort. For young receivers already on the roster, competition forces growth, and competition, handled well, can raise the room's baseline. For fans, a name like Valdes-Scantling is intriguing. He's recognizable, he's had big plays on big stages, and he's a reminder of past highlights. That intangible boost, the little lift you feel when a recognizable veteran arrives, matters more than some analytics will acknowledge. Let's be concrete. What would success look like for this move? Short-term success is simple. He practices well, learns the playbook quickly enough to be a situational target, and flashes in limited snaps on Sunday. Medium-term success, he earns a promotion and contributes 2-3 plays per game that change field position or clock management, a deep catch, an end around, a red zone target. Long-term success, and I don't want to oversell this, would be a return to reliable, week-to-week production and a reclaiming of the go-to-vertical threat label. That outcome is possible, but not guaranteed. The smart takeaway is to treat this as a measured gamble with upside and limited downside. Now picture the other side. What if it doesn't work? If MVS can't consistently win his matchup or the timing with Rodgers is off, the Steelers have lost little and gained clarity. A move like this is as much about auditioning as it is about immediate competence. NFL rosters are living rosters. They breathe and shift with injury and performance. Practice squad veterans are often the first column of reinforcements when injuries hit. If MVS doesn't stick, he still served a purpose by adding competition, depth, and a fresh set of eyes for the coaching staff. That's part of the calculus. Let's zoom out a moment and connect dots to broader themes. The league has trended toward valuing versatility and matchup-proof playmakers. Receivers who can consistently convert short gains into explosive plays or who create contested catches at the boundary are valuable. Valdes-Scantling is a specialist, a vertical weapon. Specialists can thrive in the right system, and they can be liabilities in the wrong one. The key for Pittsburgh will be to integrate him in ways that accentuate his strengths and mask his weaknesses. Occasional vertical duty, targeted wins in one-on-one matchups, and smart scheming that uses his speed without forcing him into role mismatches. How should fans temper expectations, be excited, but also be realistic? This isn't a splash trade that flip-flops the Steelers' season trajectory overnight. It's a pragmatic, veteran addition aimed at filling immediate needs. The upside is tangible chemistry with Rodgers, the ability to stretch the field, and a potential immediate upgrade in certain down-and-distance scenarios. The downside is equally simple. It may not translate into consistent production, and that's okay. NFL seasons are marathon puzzles made of tiny, sometimes ugly, parts. This is one of those parts. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, you welcome the extra target with open arms. Quarterbacks understand the luxury of having an athlete who will stretch safeties and convert those one-play touchdown opportunities into reality. Rodgers has always preferred missions, precise throws into tight windows, and the occasional boom-or-bust deep shot that flips momentum. If MVS is on the field and ready, Rodgers will at least look his way, because the risk-reward on a correctly timed deep ball to MVS is substantial. Now let's play out a handful of short scenarios that could unfold over the next month. Scenario 1, the quick heater. MVS practices well, the coaches like what they see, and an injury or roster shuffle puts him on the active roster. Week 1 with snaps, a deep catch, and suddenly you've got a story. Everyone breathes easier because the offense has another arrow in its quiver. Scenario 2, the practice squad workhorse. He never becomes a full-time fixture, but his presence forces better practice competition. Young receivers improve. Rodgers benefits indirectly. The win is cultural and long-term. Scenario 3, the short stint. He's promoted, gets limited game time, and doesn't make an impact. The team moves on, and he's another veteran who took a shot. Not a headline grabber, but not a loss either. All three outcomes are plausible. The one you root for will tell you a lot about how you see the Steelers' remainder of the season. As a fragile roster that needs big swings, or a steady team that needs incremental fixes. So here's the short human summary to take with you. Pittsburgh didn't make a headline-grabbing trade. They made a pragmatic signing, a veteran wideout who offers a vertical dimension and a pre-existing bond with Aaron Rodgers. It's low risk and medium upside, exactly the sort of move you make when you want to improve depth without mortgaging the future. For fans, the promise is simple and honest. Maybe he helps now. Maybe he earns more later. Maybe he becomes a late-season spark. But whatever happens, this is a reminder that NFL seasons are shaped by small gambles that sometimes turn into big rewards. Thanks for listening. Keep an eye on the weekly transactions report and practice reports. Those will tell you everything you need to know about whether this signing stays as a footnote or grows into a real storyline. For now, it's a clean, bold, human move. A veteran on a short leash, a familiar name reunited with a veteran quarterback, and a team nudging at the edges of its roster to find more answers.